as you look back, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned that might be applicable to others building in crypto? And it may be people building in the near ecosystem, it may be people building in other ecosystems. What have you learned that you think is worth passing on?
Well, I think there are two interesting pieces. One is build upgradability right away. So it's interesting because like the blockchain is usually just, people have this meme of immutability, and that's like, you launch an application and it's forever. And that's not true, because like nothing is like staying there forever. Like we need things to evolve. And even Bitcoin, for whatever, slow speed it's evolving, it actually does. They're adding new features, they're doing stuff. And so doing an explicit way to do upgradability, some ways that allows people to do this, and like with the community consent, with understanding how this works, with whatever mechanics you want and need, it's really important, because otherwise you will need to add it later and it will suck. That and so within that, then just launch faster. So if you have upgradability, that means you can upgrade. I mean, if you can, like we call it sandboxing, like we're actually trying to build some tooling for that. So you can launch a smart contract that actually sandboxed. It only can process some amount of money per day. So if nothing else, you can just insure sandbox. If the contract gets completely broken, you just insure sandbox for that, and then it locks automatically if something wrong outside of this norm. And so you can make it like kind of easier to launch. And so for us specifically, what we should have done is somewhere in April 19, we actually had an implementation with Tendermint. We had our kind of smart contracts running on Tendermint without sharding. And this was right in the moment where we realized our sharding we did implement was too complex. It was not something that made sense. And so we should have just gotten that to launch, right? That was not sharding. We did not like deliver on the promise of sharding, but it was a working blockchain that could have gotten us people to start building applications. And instead, we kind of launched in October 2020, right? So like over a year and a half later. And obviously, like a lot of stuff that to launch we needed to do, we just did it a bunch later, which we could have kind of started doing in parallel while still figuring out sharding, which we did, and then implemented it, and then kind of started figuring out how to launch only like in beginning of 2020. So generally, like there is, yeah, if we're talking about Web3 blockchains, there's so much things to go into launch that are non-technical, that try to make minimal thing technical. I mean, secure it obviously, but then launch it, because then you can actually parallelize your technical process of continuously improving it while already being in the market, while already being users, right? And in Web 2, it's like a normal thing that everybody says, but in Web 3, it feels like everybody kind of went completely like, it's complete waterfall, write a white paper that defines everything from day one, and then we go and build it forever, and then we launch it and it's beautiful. And it's like, well, no.